IG6 is building 2 new production facilities, one here in Western Australia, in Collie, just south of Perth, and another one that we're seeking to build in Venice, in Italy, which is with a joint venture with a group called Alchemia SPA, one of Europe's largest manufacturer of hydrofluoric acid. Well, International Graphite's point of differentiation, I believe, and our board believes, is the fact that we're very much focused on cash flow in the next 12 to 18 months through 2 value-add midstream processing facilities. Our micronising facility in Collie, here in Western Australia, that is in the construction phase at the moment. We would just expect that to be completed this time next year, commissioning, and then generating cash flow in the second half of next calendar year. Our planned project in Venice with Alchemia, the Porto Marghera graphite processing hub, that's in the design and feasibility phase. We anticipate completing that over the next 3 or 4 months and be ready to finance that facility, which will take us through next calendar year from a construction perspective. So we believe that at the end of 2027, we'll have 2 production facilities generating cash flow for the company, and that for us is our major point of differentiation from other listed graphite companies. Well, we see the biggest opportunities for graphite, for international graphite, in the midstream processing market. So we're very much focused on the industrial products. They are still part of the broader battery anode flow sheet pathway, but the area of the market that's profitable today and generating cash flow for companies today is in this midstream processing sector. So that's where we see the most opportunity for international graphite today. Ultimately, there will be a growth in the anode industry and anode demand, borne out by electric vehicle and stationary storage. No question about that, but we'll be well positioned to take advantage of that with some operating facilities in place by the end of next calendar year. Well, graphite's a strategic commodity because essentially China controls all of the processing of the product. So if you're a consumer in Europe and North America and Asia Pacific, Australia, and you're looking to obtain some processed graphite for whatever industrial application you have no choice but to go to China to procure that concentrate. Where the real opportunity in the marketplace is to diversify a supply chain away from China. And so what we're doing here in Western Australia and what we're planning to do in Europe offers that supply diversity for those customers and ensures that supply chain has the stability and reliability that perhaps they haven't had the opportunity to take in the past. We've been very lucky at IG6 to attract some really high quality partners into the company. Most recently, we announced the participation of the Wogan Global Trading Group based out of London, and they are one of the world's largest traders of graphite. Excelsior and Wogan's participation in the company is a real validation of the supply chain that we're looking to create. We've also, of course, announced our joint venture with Alchemia, the world's one of Europe's largest producers of hydrofluoric acid, which is a key ingredient used to purify graphite. And so having their participation with us and their joint desire to build out a graphite processing business shows that we've really, I think, found the right strategic platform for the company. Well, Alchemia and International Graphite have been working together for probably the best part of 18 months, looking at purification capability. Alchemia had developed their own purification technologies and processing based out of their relationships they'd established in Japan. And we at International Graphite have a MOU with Marubeni. And so through that network of companies, we established a relationship with Alchemia, and they have elected to build their own purification capability. And they're essentially building their own customer base for their hydrofluoric acid supply. And hydrofluoric acid is the only commercially proven technology that can purify graphite at scale, and certainly to battery anode capability. So that partnership evolved through, I guess, mutual collaborations with a variety of different serious industry players. And we then just shared a similar vision around what what is it in the graphite industry that, or where should you be in the graphite industry? Should you be in the mining? Should you be in the processing? And our firm view is that the processing at this point in time in the cycle is the right position to be in. And so together we've decided to pull together some graphite processing facilities that would process graphite concentrates and produce these industrial products. Well, Collie is our foundational asset. Really, we wouldn't be here talking to the EU if it wasn't for the fact that we developed Collie the way we have. A huge support from the West Australian state government and the federal government in particular, but Collie really is the engine of the company. It's where our graphite processing skills have been honed. We've got the R&D facility down there that's been able to do micronised and spheroidised products. We've got a purification capability there as well. And that R&D facility has been, and the success of our operations on it has demonstrated our capability to then take the next step into the commercial scale micronising facility. So it's really our demonstration of our capability of taking a graphite processing facility here in Western Australia that's caught the attention of European eyes and the partners like Alchemia. So we're essentially, I guess, banking our own credibility to develop assets in Europe. So our focus at International Graphite really has been on processing. It's the DNA of the company. Our founders were involved in the processing of graphite concentrates. There is certainly no shortage at the moment of graphite concentrates on the market. So we can easily acquire graphite concentrates from the trading houses, from the existing operating facilities, and go and process those concentrates into value-added products. The return on investment is far higher at this point in time in the cycle in that part of the graphite supply chain than it would be from mining graphite concentrates, and so that for us is where that's for us where our focus should be. Well, Springdale is a really important part of our asset portfolio. We've done enough work down on the mine to determine that it's going to be a long-lasting, high-quality asset capable of producing graphite concentrates for decades. It'll be brought into production at the point in time when the markets, when the markets are able to absorb more concentrate coming to market. We are essentially building our own processing capability that can process those concentrates. So we won't be reliant on the graphite concentrate market. We'll be developing our own markets in Collie and in Europe to be able to sell graphite concentrates from that deposit through to our own midstream facilities. The last 12 months have been a really exciting period for International Graphite, and we've achieved quite a lot. We're in construction with the Collie micronising facility. We've landed an amazing joint venture potential partnership with the Port of Magahera graphite processing facilities. We've attracted the attention of some significant industry players, Wogan on the concentrate feedstock and sales side, Excelsior Capital on the investment side, also on the financial side. We've been well supported in the marketplace, just successfully completed a $4.4 million financing. And so those achievements have really set us up for what we think is going to be a fantastic another 12 to 18 month period. So we're now funded through to completion of the Collie micronising facility. We will need to raise finance to build out the Port of Magahera facilities sometime later this year. And by the end of next year, we'll be in production. So our focus is really heavily on execution, building the projects we've got on our books now, making them successful and generating returns for shareholders from the cash flows of those operations. We've worked hard over the last 12 to 18 months to lay the foundations for what we think will be a very successful next 18-month period. We've funded the company, we have established really critical partnerships with key industry players that know the markets well. We're in an area of the market or focused on an area of the market that we know is profitable today and can deliver sustained cash flows for the company over the short to medium term. So from our perspective, we're very excited about the platform we've established, and now it's our job to go and execute.